Disney's Fastpass program is truly an essential part of a magical day, but if you've booked your trip in advance, or maybe it's a last-minute trip, and either you forgot to book Fastpasses, or maybe there was no availability for those prime attractions that you really wanted to experience, you may end up feeling a bit defeated. Don't worry, keep on smiling, because in today's video I'm going to share some of my tips and tricks and what to do in the event you cannot find any Fastpasses for the attractions that you really want to experience. Now, this video is all about what to do in the event that you can't get the Fastpasses that you want on your magical adventure, but before we even get to those steps, don't forget the pre-step: try and book them in advance of your trip. Make sure you are standing by at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time 30 days in advance of your trip if you're staying off-site but have purchased tickets in advance, or 60 days in advance of your trip if you're staying at an on-site Disney Resort hotel. I have several videos on my channel explaining which Fastpasses I recommend at each park and even how to do it on the computer. You can find those on my channel, but now let's get into what to do in the event that either you forgot or all the Fastpasses for the attractions that you want to experience are gone. The first and most important rule is to keep on trying to get those Fastpasses. Let's say you have a vacation plan to Walt Disney World and you have reservations on site at a Disney resort, but you forgot to book those Fastpass reservations in advance, and now it's maybe 20 days before your trip. You log into the system as soon as you remember and find that the most popular attractions already have all of their Fastpasses taken. Trust me, it has happened to me, and the best thing you can do in this situation is continue to try and get Fastpasses for those attractions that you want. Check back every day, every 6 hours, as frequently as you can to try and find some of those Fastpasses when they open up. I cannot tell you how many times this strategy has worked for me. I've logged back into the system at weird hours, 7 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., just trying to figure out if anything opens up. Just double checking the website really fast. I had it bookmarked on my computer. Sure enough, things open up here and there. As often as this does work, even for some e-ticket attractions like Space Mountain and some amazing shows like Illumination's Reflections of Earth in the Fastpass viewing area, there are some attractions where this is far less likely to work. The best example that I can think of at the time of filming is one of the most popular attractions at Disney World ever. It's in Pandora, Flight of Passage. This really shouldn't surprise you, as Flight of Passage, in my opinion, is the best attraction at Walt Disney World at the time of filming. Yes, I did say that right. This brings me to my next suggestion. If you cannot find any Fastpasses, let's say it's a really crowded time of year, I recommend going first thing in the morning right at rope drop and go immediately for that attraction that you want to experience. I have tried this many times for several different attractions, and 9 times out of 10 it does work, but again, those super popular attractions, well, that's to be expected. Gigantic line waiting for Pandora to open. 8:36 in the morning. I am astounded by this line. I'm walking away from Pandora to get back in this. Oh my gosh. The time is now 8:55 in the morning. This is the line for Flight of Passage. We went all the way down, and Festival of the Lion King is right behind me. I'm not allowed to go that way because we're in Africa. That's Harambe, right there. Do you see where I am? Do you see the line? Look at this. This is, oh my gosh. Needless to say, when I was there for rope drop at Animal Kingdom for Flight of Passage, it didn't work. The line was already 3 hours long by the time I got there. It made its way basically all the way to Harambe Village. It was extremely impressive to witness in person, and I was there at the rope drop. I saw the rope drop. Yes, I was not the first person in the park, but come on, that goes to show the popularity of some of these attractions. Flight of Passage right now, the most popular one. One strategy to add on top of that one is if you're a resort guest and you can utilize the extra magic hours in the parks, try and go first thing in the morning for those magic hours. So let's say you can rope drop the magic hours, then you are guaranteed to at least experience that one attraction you really want to do once. Another trick besides going first thing in the morning, try going during the lunch hour or right before park closing. Right around the lunch hour, many guests will make their way to restaurants all around Walt Disney World, and sometimes, not always, but sometimes, a lot of the lines will wind down. Obviously, this varies based on the time of year and how many other guests are in the park with you. On top of that, consider the late afternoon right before the closing of the park. Again, this does vary from day to day and is dependent on a lot of other factors like the crowd levels, but you're more than likely going to find at least a shorter line if you're there right before closing. If you weren't able to get those fast passes for the top tier attractions that you really wanted, let's say Space Mountain as an example, but you still want to go on other attractions like Peter Pan's Flight, I recommend you get fast passes for those other attractions to reduce your wait time there. That way when you do stand in the standby line for that top tier attraction, you're cutting wait times down somewhere else. Trust me, these tips can help you a lot, especially during certain times of year when the crowds are a lot lower and you can kind of just find that last minute fast pass or go first thing in the morning. It definitely does help. But if you're going during the peak of summer crowds or during the holiday season, it's tough to avoid standing in those standby lines, even with 2-hour wait times. But don't let that keep you down. Disney's been working very hard to make the queue lines a lot more fun. Now you're thinking to yourself, Michael, fun standing in a 2-hour wait? Right. But I'm serious though. It can be a lot of fun. Disney either has something for you to see and experience, like in Flight of Passage, a lot of things to see, like in the Science Center of the line, very, very cool. Or if there's nothing really to see, you can play on the Play Disney Parks app by yourself or with your family and friends. Those are some of the tips and tricks for what to do in the event that you can't book a fast pass for an attraction that you really want to experience. The most important rule in all of this, try and book them as early as possible and then continue trying as you get closer and closer to your magical adventure. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Let me know in the comments below if there's another strategy that you use to get some last-minute fast passes for your favorite attractions at Walt Disney World. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.